Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I wanted to talk about a little paper that was just recently published in the French journal Osmia, and this is a small journal that just publishes various details about Hymenoptera research, so wasps, bees, and the like. And this paper is called New Insights into the Distribution of the Obscure Digger Wasp, Sphex optimus. For those of you who don't know, Sphex is a genus of the Sphecids, and these are sometimes called the digger wasps, sometimes, at least in the Midwest, we would call them mud daubers. They are predatory wasps who build little dirt cells, earthen cells, and then stockpile them with various other insects or spiders and grow their larvae on these corpses. So Sphex optimus was originally described in 1856 from Gambia in Africa. And this is what Sphex optimus looks like. After it was collected and described, it was never found again. And Sphex optimus has basically been missing now for 169 years. So was it extinct? What happened to it? No one really knew. So in this paper in Osmia, the author puts forward that actually what may have happened is that this was just a case of mislabeled specimens. So this is something that happens fairly often, unfortunately, if you have any sort of significantly large collection. If you are a curator or if you've ever worked in an insect museum, you're dealing with tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands or millions of specimens that have to be updated and maintained. The casings have to be maintained. Sometimes you have to change the labels, things like that. And if you're a collector, you're probably familiar with the problem of not being able to label things as soon as you collect them. And so you need to label them later, and maybe you misremember where you got something, things like that. So this is the holotype for Sphex optimus. And the author originally thought that maybe it was being confused for this other species. Maybe this was the mislabel. Maybe it was actually Sphex melanopus. And as you can see, there are a couple, they look very, very familiar. The author's conclusions are not that the specimens were originally mislabeled as Sphex melanopus, but actually that maybe it was wrong about it being collected in Gambia. Maybe this was actually collected somewhere in Central or South America, and just the wrong location label got attached to it. So the author goes into a number of photos that were taken by a citizen science initiative through iNaturalist. And he believes he has located Sphex optimus not in Gambia, but in primarily Panama, and then a few collections in Venezuela and Colombia. And it wouldn't even be that weird if there is some subpopulation of Sphex optimus that is in Africa as well. There's a lot of overlap between genera that are found in Africa and in South America because these two continents used to be touching. So it wouldn't be that strange. But as he points out, there are some key differences between Sphex optimus and Sphex melanopus, particularly this area here around the head and thorax. The coloration is completely different between melanopus, which has this like white silver hair, and Sphex optimus, which is actually this golden species with much lighter wings. You have very, very dark wings on Sphex melanopus, and multiple of these Sphex photos have been taken. So it's not just like, oh, well, we have one wasp that kind of looks like it. This wasp seems to be occurring over and over again through Central and South America. As you can see here, all of these red dots represent collection information. So the author's insight into this is not that we've lost a species to extinction, or maybe it goes by a different name. It's literally that the original curator or some curator in between 1856 and today just put the wrong location label onto this wasp. And so now someone needs to go down to Central and South America and do some collecting to see if they can prove it. He has reached out to some of the insect museums in the region, but apparently none of them are being particularly cooperative. So it hasn't been able to be proven yet that these are the same species shown in the photographs. But hopefully we get an update to this pretty soon. Hopefully the entomological museums in the area already have these specimens in their collections, and this can be sorted out pretty quickly. And with that, I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye.